your scuba gear on. Let's go swim with the dolphins.
Oh, here they come! Dolphins are perfectly adapted to their environment. They have nothing to do but swim and play all day. They have massive brains. They're incredibly intelligent. If dolphins bought insurance, they'd choose High House.
High House Insurance don't pay to be on comparison websites, so your premiums are better value. Try us and see. Call 606 552. High House, local reliable insurance. High Street, Chelsea.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Manhood Internet Radio. I'm Tony Weiner, your host for this show again. Do you know what's going on in Bracklesham and the Witterings? Neither do I, but our reporter Alison Gaunt does, and she will be with us later to tell us all about it. Before that, we have the answers to the last quiz, and then Alison should be back to tell us what is happening in Selsey. We then go over to Keith, who is talking to Robin Clapton, who tell us what people are doing to help a very brave girl. Following that, our gardening expert David will be telling us what we should be doing now in preparation for the summer. Later in the show, we have a subject very dear to West Sussex people, as we have the return of Teresa on the subject of dogs. We will pop over to Keith's kitchen to see what's on offer this week, and as if that wasn't enough, Kevin is back to challenge us again, and that should give Alison time to get back to give us the weather and tide times. I think Alison must have a better piece of seaweed than the Met Office, in fact. Okay then, it's time to kick off, so Alison, what is going on?
Let's have a look now at what's happening in the Witterings and over at Bracklesham next week. So on Wednesday, as usual, it's table tennis. That's a drop-in and play for adult session at Bracklesham Barn between 10 and 12 midday. Running alongside that, it's CBT motorcycle training at Bracklesham Barn between 9 and 11. You do need to pre-book for that one. Between 1 and 2, there's belly dancing with Step Inside at Bracklesham Barn. And then in the evening, Louise will be taking the Zumba class between 6:30 and 7:30. Followed between 7:30 and 8:30 by surf conditioning, so plenty to keep you fit there. There are also some specials on Wednesday the 15th. We've got the Heart Space Creative Writing Group meeting at the barn between 1:30 and 3:30. And also it's the time for the RNLI Manhood Branch Spring Bridge and Tea Afternoon. That's to be held at West Wittering Memorial Hall at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The contacts for that are Annie on 512900 or Kim on 512207. That's for the RNLI Manhood Branch Spring Bridge and Tea. Earlier in the morning on Wednesday the 15th, there's going to be a coffee morning held at Russell's Garden Centre between 10 and 11:30, and that's in aid of St Wilfrid's Hospice. So that's Wednesday. Let's have a look at Thursday. Busybugs Toddler Gym will be happening at Bracklesham Barn between 9:30 and 12 noon on Thursday. Then the Stitch and Yarn at the Witterings Medical Centre between 10:30 and 12:30, and of course Knit and Natter at East Wittering Library between 11 and 12:30. It's the day for the Witterings Master Art Group between 10 and 12 at West Wittering Memorial Hall. And then in the afternoon, back at East Wittering, there's a Keep Fit exercise class between 2 and 3. That's held at East Wittering Village Hall. West Wittering have their short mat bowls between 10 and 12 and 2 and 4. That's held at West Wittering Memorial Hall. To get some information on that, you need to speak to Chris. 07788 111325. I'll repeat that long number. 07788 111325. That's Chris with the West Wittering short mat bowls. There's Pilates for a mixed ability group between 6 and 7 at East Wittering Village Hall on Thursdays. And there's also private ballroom and Latin dancing at 7 o'clock at East Wittering Village Hall. Now you will need to book for that. www.strictlyddancinguk.co.uk. And there's the Junior Youth Club for years 8 to 12 at the Youth Centre between 5 and 6:30. And then of course the older ones meet between 6:30 and 8:30. That's the 12 to 17-year-olds. There's bingo at the Legion at 7:30, and it's open mic night at Pond Barn. Now every Friday at Bracklesham Barn there's Pilates. That starts at 9:30 and lasts for an hour. There's also short mat bowls in the afternoon between 2 and 4. Over at East Wittering at the Village Hall there's Coastliners line dancing between 2 and 5. And it's jukebox night at Pond Barn between 7 and midnight. It's private ballroom and Latin again, starting at 7 at East Wittering Village Hall. Again, the booking is through www.strictlydancing.co.uk. And there's also a special on Friday. The Witterings Quilters Quilting Bee will have their meeting at St Peter's Church Hall between 10:30 and 4:30. If you're interested in going along to that, you need to contact Judith Rogers, her number 511431. And then every Sunday at the hall there's the Windrush Church meeting between 10:30 and 12:45, and it's quiz night at Pond Barn at 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Mondays it's time once again for the Little Ducklings Mother and Toddler group to meet. You can find them at Bracklesham Barn between 9:30 and 11:30. Short mat bowls takes place at Bracklesham Barn between 10:30 and 1, and then in the evening Louise will be taking her Zumba class at 6:30 to 7:30. At East Wittering Village Hall on a Monday there's line dancing. That's from 7 until 10. Over at Bracklesham Barn in the evening, Elaine does a yoga group between 7 and 8:30. And there's also ARO Ladies Beginner Kickboxing with Verity at Bracklesham Barn between 7:30 and 8:30 on a Monday. On Tuesdays, it's time for Little Explorers Play and Learn Together, as usual at Bracklesham Barn between 10 and 11. Then there's Strength and Balance, 2 sessions there, 2 until 3 and 3 until 4, both of those held at Bracklesham Barn. In the afternoon, Up for Dance Boys Junior Dance Group meet at Bracklesham Barn between 3:30 and 4:30, followed by Up for Dance Mishmash for all juniors, again at the barn, 4:30 until 5:30. Tai Chi takes place between 4 and 5 at the barn, and then later in the evening there's a beginner ukulele club between 6:30 and 8:30. Don't forget the community pop choir, they rehearse at West Wittering Memorial Hall on Tuesdays between 7 and 9. And there's badminton at Bracklesham Barn between 7:30 and 9:30, and there's free pool at Pond Barn. So plenty to be getting on with there on the Manhood Peninsula for the rest of the week. Bye for now.
Thanks, Alison, and she will be back later, I hope, with events in Selsey. So, for those of you who struggled with the last quiz, here is Keith with the answers.
And the answers to last week's Kevin's Connections quiz are as follows. And Kevin said this was going to be a bit of a tough one. Which folk song starts with "Once a jolly swag man camped by a billabong"? That's, of course, Waltzing Matilda. Which Southampton striker did they sign from QPR in January 2016? He's currently injured. With Charlie Austin. Who created Detective Adam Dalgleish? That was P.D. James. Who was Chancellor of the Exchequer from 2010 to 2016? That was George Osborne. Which film director's works include Trainspotting and Slumdog Millionaire? That was, of course, Danny Boyle. And their connections? Well, they're all named in the titles of Roald Dahl books. And that's Matilda, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, George's Marvellous Medicine, Danny Champion of the World, and James and the Giant Peach. And that was a peach. You're absolutely right there, Kevin. And I don't imagine many people got all those right. Anyway, we look forward to Kevin's next quiz.
Thank you. So I can now hear Alison is back, so it's time to find out what is happening in Selsey.
Hello again, and welcome once more to our weekly look at what's on in Selsey and the rest of the Manhood Peninsula. So let's start with Selsey town itself. On Wednesday the 15th of March at 10 o'clock, the Selsey Model Boat Club meet. Now they meet at the pond on East Beach, and of course they sail their radio-controlled boats. New members would be very welcome, so do contact Chris on 601 550 if you're interested in the Selsey Model Boat Club. That's from 10 until 12 on Wednesdays. Then from 2 until 4, it's time for the Crafty Natter Club. They meet at the Methodist Church. Lisa is the contact for that, 601 032. That's the Crafty Natter Club. In the evening, again at the Methodist Church Hall, it's time for the Selsey Community Choir to have their weekly rehearsal. They meet at 7 and finish at 8:30. There's also carpet bowls on Wednesdays between 7 and 8 at Medbury Primary School on School Lane. On Thursday the 16th of March between 2 and 5 in the evening, Selsey Bridge Club have their meeting. They meet at the club on Cox's Road. They claim to be a friendly group of mixed ability. Well, you need to go and check that out to see how friendly they are and just how mixed the ability is. You need to call Carol for information on that one on 602250 for the Selsey Bridge Club between 2 and 5. There's also walking football at the Academy between 6 and 7:30 in the evening. If you want a gentle game of football, strolling along to keep you in shape, then this might be just for you. Walking football for the over 50s. Earlier in the evening, Lighthouse Youth Club meet from 6:30 until 7:45. That's for school years 5 to 8 at East Beach Church. In the evening, between 7 and 8, Selsey Basketball meet at the Academy Sports Hall. That's adult basketball. In the evening, 7:15 until 9:15, it's the monthly link. That's Ladies in Contact at St Peter's Church Hall. The speaker for the evening is going to be Tracy Bowden from the Chestnut Tree House Hospice. Costs for that is £2 and it does include refreshments. Also on Thursday, mobile play soft session for the under 5s at the Selsey Centre between 10 and 11:30 in the morning. As usual, Sue or Tom with the contacts, 604 642. And then later in the day, adult kickboxing at the Selsey Centre, 8 o'clock at night. On Friday the 17th at 9:30 in the morning, there's an hour of the Seal Island Swimming Club. They swim at the Oasis Pool at Bun Leisure. In the afternoon, Beginners Bridge meet at the Selsey Club on Cox's Road. That's from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock. Same time, 2 till 4, it's the Darby and Joan Club. That's a regular meeting at St Peter's Church Hall. They meet for a game of bingo and a raffle and a cuppa and a chat. During the year, they also do different things. Sometimes they have subsidised days out to garden centres and shopping. Now, if you want to go to that and you're a member of the Venture Club, you can get transport already laid on. And the Darby and Joan are affiliated to the RVS. For more information on that, you need to speak to Jill Evenden. Her number is 604187. Also on Friday afternoon, 2 o'clock until 3:30, mindful music making takes place at the shop on the High Street in Selsey. To book for that, you need to speak to Anna. Her number is 07912 609 437. I'll repeat that because it's a long number. 07912 609 437. That's Anna with her mindful music making. And then from 5 until 6 on Friday, Bright Sparks Club for schools year 1 to 4 at East Beach Church. On Saturday morning, 8:30 in the morning till 9:30, the Selsey Striders meet. They claim it's suitable for all, so why not go along? Meet them at Hillfield Car Park. That's at 8:30 in the morning for Selsey Striders. Now there's a tabletop sale taking place on Saturday. This one's at the Selsey Methodist Church. You can book a table on 601439. And if you're a stall holder, you can get in from 8 o'clock in the morning. But as a buyer, the sale will be open from 9:30 until 1 o'clock. And as usual, there will be refreshments. So that's the tabletop sale at the Methodist Church. Also on Saturday, there's a chance to have your say. Have your say on the neighbourhood plan consultation. This is taking place at the Town Hall, opposite the Methodist Church, in fact. They would like to invite all members of our community to come and review the revised neighbourhood plan, to meet the councillors and to express your views. If you want some more information on that, you can go online to www.selseystowncouncil.gov.uk. That's an all-day event beginning at 10 and finishing at 5 for your chance to have your say. On Sunday the 19th, the Selsey Power Rangers meet in the morning from 9 until 10. They also meet at the Hillfield Car Park. There's carpet bowls at Medbury Primary School on School Lane. from 9:30 until 10:30, and then there's also an afternoon session at 3 o'clock. Once again, the Selsey Model Boat Club will be having their weekly meeting at the pond on East Beach from 10 until 12. And the first Sunday of the month is race day, so that would be very exciting. New members are always welcome. You need to contact Chris on 801 550. Between 11 and 2 o'clock, someone to guide you. At the church Norton Hyde on Pagham Harbour, there's going to be a free drop-in, and friendly guides will help you to spot and identify the wildlife that you can see from there. Later in the afternoon, there's a respite tea at East Beach Evangelical Church. That's between 3 and 4:30. Later in the afternoon, there's an event at the Seal. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, John Crampton will be performing. So if you want to get away from the washing up, maybe that's the place to go on Sunday afternoon. Monday the 20th, Selsey Basketball between 5 and 7 in the evening. That's held at the Academy Sports Hall. There's also a session for 7 to 11s at 5 and 6 p.m. for the 12 and overs. Between 6 and 7, netball for all at the Academy, but that's in the small hall. On Tuesday the 21st of March, there's a beginner circuit course at the Selsey Centre, so you can see if you're a beginner or whether you're more advanced. That's all day. And there's netball for all between 7 and 8 in the evening at the Academy Sports Hall. Also on Tuesday, mobile soft play takes place as usual. That's for the under 5s at the Selsey Centre between 10 and 11:30. Again, Sue or Tom will your contact 604 642. And then later on at the Selsey Centre, kids kickboxing, 4 to 6 years old at 4:30 and the over 6s at 5 o'clock. So that's just about it for what's on in Selsey. I'll speak to you again next week.
Excellent. Thank you, Alison. And that's not all, as she will be back later with some more news. Okay then, so now we go over to Keith to learn about what people are doing to help a wonderful girl.
Right, with me now in the studio in Witterings, I've got Robin Clapton, and Robin's going to be telling us about an event going on called Daisy's Day. Good morning, Robin.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, thanks for letting us come in today and talk about what we're proposing to do, or what we are going to do. Daisy's Day is for a local girl called Daisy Wigington, who unfortunately has been very ill with cancer, but she's making a good breakthrough. And in a minute I'll say what Darren's father told me last night. But just briefly, just to explain about Daisy's Day, it's on the 22nd of April at the Pond Barn Country Club in Bracklesham Bay, and it's a day from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m, although it probably will go on longer, but the actual day that we're organising is 10 a.m. to 10 p.m, and it's for families, and it's principally to raise money for the Daisies campaign. But I'll just give a message from Darren last night. Darren Wigington told me that Daisy is home and finishing her antibiotics, which run up until the 16th of March. Then she's in Southampton General Hospital for 4 weeks for more chemotherapy over an 8-week period. So she's doing well. Hopefully she's going to be able to be there on Daisy's Day to enjoy the day with us. And let's just hope her chemo goes well enough that she can come on that Saturday, because she has got an appointment on the Friday before.
Well, let's hope she's fit enough to make it, because I'm sure she'd love to be there.
Yeah, in fact, everything started on Boxing Day when a Just Giving page was given, which we urged to donate for Daisy Wigington on the Just Giving page. And it's been absolutely fantastic. The local community have really got together on this one.
Well, good on the local community, that's all we can say to that.
Yeah, there's a lot. They're a well-known local family, and everyone. It could be anybody.
Oh, absolutely. It's no respecter of age or anything else. Sadly.
Yeah. So what we're doing on Daisy's Day is, thanks to Manhood Radio for letting us promote this, by the way.
That's not a problem, sir.
The gifts that we've been pledged by local businesses are literally from the high street in Shore Road. We've had Nick Cheshire, has been absolutely fantastic. He's donated a surfboard that we can auction. Also meals at the Drift-In restaurant and the Drift-In cafe. Complete Works are giving a massage as part of the auction. The florist boys have been great. They're going to help in any way they can. The Thatch Tavern, he's donated a load of stuff and he's going to help promote the thing for us. And of course, BizCard UK have been brilliant. They've helped us with all the invitations, posters. They've been a real support on this. And the Pond
We know
Barn,
BizCard very well.
yeah, and the local life. It's just everything's coming together. But we do actually have an appeal for help on any of the children's activities that we'll be doing. We've organised face painting. There's a candy shop coming, and we're going to have a Punch and Judy show. And the bands that we're having, of course, is the music for all ages. And we have got our very own local girl, Savannah Hack, who's going to be playing, which a lot of the children in the village like and support. So that'll be good. But everyone will be dancing and having fun. With regards to the bands so far, the first band we've got on are the Bracklesham Bray Blues Breakers, and they consist of a few local artists that are not in any particular band, but have just got together. And
Just get it together, yeah.
We've been rehearsing since Christmas, and we know what we're doing. People have been coming and going, and it's just going to be like a jam to start with.
Great stuff.
Yeah, well, we get all the lights set up. And
My kind of entertainment, that I have to say.
Good. Then there's another band called the Underagers, which are all young kids at school. They've played at several festivals and venues around here. They're quite popular. I mentioned Savannah Hack. She'll be on after them. We've got a local girl, Amy Nelson, who Amy's got a great voice, so she's going to do a bit. We've also got some karaoke to fill in if people want to get up. The Skedaddles are playing, very popular band. And then the last band in the evening are called the Dirty Strangers. They're actually playing at the Chichester Inn on the 1st of April. So if anyone wanted to go and see them on the 1st of April to have a taste of what's in store, they're welcome to go there, obviously. And then in between all the bands, John Foster, local DJ, will be doing the music in between.
Well, it's going to be a full card, that's for sure.
Yeah, we've got plenty to organise, but the way I was saying to Tracy from BizCard UK earlier today, that once everybody's in, it'll be, the entertainment's on, and it's like, get on with it and enjoy yourselves. We'll be having an auction. And
it'll be stopping at 10 o'clock on the dot, of course.
No, it won't.
Just when people are really enjoying it.
Yeah,
when the adults are going to start, yeah.
Now, we've said 10 till 10, but it will go on longer. But we haven't got a commitment then after 10. We can start packing the disco. People will be dancing to whatever the Pond Barn want to lay on.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
With regards to the auction that we're going to have, we've had a lot of local artists donate some of their pictures. We're going to put a photocopy of their pictures and put them in the programme so people know what they're going to be auctioning for. But one of the best things that we've got, which has been given by a very good friend of everybody in the village, we've got a couple of signed T-shirts from the last tour of the Rolling Stones, and they've all been personally signed by Keith, Mick, Ronnie and Charlie. We do know that they're aware of this, and they've put these T-shirts into the auction, and we hope to raise a lot of money from them.
Yes, indeed.
It's been great. The support has been overwhelming, but really the purpose of coming on the radio this morning is to tell people that you've got to go to the Pond Barn and get your tickets. It's the only place they're on sale from, because they want a list of who's going there. It is restricted to 200 to 300 because people will be coming and going, but if you don't get a ticket, it's literally, you won't be able to get in. And people have said they want to go, but we've sold, I think the last count we had, we've sold 65 tickets.
Wow, they're selling well already.
Yeah, so we're a third of the way there, but of course we need the money now to help the Wigginton family, and it's only £8 entrance fee, and that money is going to be used initially to give to the Wiggintons to pay for the charity, but we also need some running expenses. So if we can get the tickets sold now rather on the day, we know where we're going and what our target is.
Okay, well, thanks for coming in and telling us all about this. I mean, it's a fantastic, it goes without saying, it's a fantastic cause. And we urge as many people to get along and get tickets from the Pond Barn, and that is the only place you can get them. So get your tickets from the Pond Barn as soon as you can, so they can get the money in and then they know what they're doing with it. And that's on the 22nd of April,
Yep.
I believe. And it's going to be a full day's entertainment. And it's just for a wonderful cause. So raise as much money as you can and give as much money as you can.
Well, the target we've got is 50,000. we're fast. We are doing very well, and they can also donate on the Just Giving page if they want to.
Okay, that's brilliant. Well, thanks once again for coming in, Robin, and just filling us in on what's going on with that.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thank you, gentlemen. What a wonderful thing to do. And of course, we give our best wishes to Daisy and all concerned. Just a reminder of that date. It's the 22nd of April, so do try to get along to help her. Now, changing the subject, it's time to go over to David in the garden.
Hello, and today I'd like to talk about some of my favourite types of plants, which is the summer flowering bulbs. There's nothing like growing plants and finding them come up in the autumn when you've not really been expecting anything, adding a bit of colour and sometimes a fairly unusual colour for that time of the year. When we're talking about bulbs, we're talking about the true bulbs, the onions, the daffodils, the corms, which could be the gladioli and the crocuses, the tubers, begonias and anemones, rhizomes, the canna and agapanthus, and the tuberous roots of the dahlias. They're all really bulbs, but the true bulbs really are just the onions and the daffodil type plants. I'd like to talk about some more of the unusual ones that are available in the shops, but perhaps you don't commonly grow. So I'm not going to talk about dahlias today, or lilies, but just about the plants that you plant in the spring, which will flower in the summer and the autumn. However, one of the more common ones is Crocosmia, or Montbretia. Now this is grown in most gardens, and is one of my favourite plants actually. Coming up orange in July and August and growing through probably until September and October. The common one grows about 12 to 18 inches tall, strap leaves, and really grows almost anywhere. Often you see it at the bottom of dry hedges. An attractive plant, but also there's quite a few varieties. Probably you may have seen Lucifer. It's a deep red, very tall Crocosmia, about 4 feet. And there's Jenny Bloom, which is a nice bright yellow flower. Emily Mackenzie, which has got a red centre and orange outside to the blooms. There are many other varieties which you'll find in the shops and in the nurseries. Plant them now, 2 to 3 inches deep, in a well-drained soil. Make it a sunny spot because they're from South Africa and they like a hot, dry climate. Next, I've been growing nerines. These are most unusual because in the autumn you get a pink flower, though you can get from white or through shades of pink through to red. Most of the plants are not fully hardy, but Nerine bodeni is the most common you will find, and this is hardy, certainly in southern Britain. Strap-like leaves again. You'll find that most bulbs actually do have strap-like leaves. Strap-like leaves grow to about 18 inches tall, and in the summer they die back slightly, and you end up with a long, tall, leafless plant stem with a pink frilly flower on top. You can get red, you can get white. One thing about them is that they aren't fully hardy, but if you plant them deep enough and in the autumn put a mulch or either compost or dry leaves on top, they should thin through the winter. Plant them in April, again in a well-drained soil, and again because they're from hot countries you want a hot sunny spot. They like to be crowded. If you plant them too far apart, you'll find they have a lot of leaves and not much flower. I found this year that my Nerine bodeni, the pink ones, grew very, very well, but the white and the red ones were a bit disappointing. I'm hoping next year, probably their second year in, that will get more flowers. Now, one of the plants I've been growing over the last few years is what is called the Abyssinian gladioli, or Gladiomuralia, or Acidanthera murula. I grew this about 4 years ago, when I was up in Cheadle Hulme in South Manchester. I planted them in pots and then sunk the pots into the ground, as it's a lot colder and wetter. Yes, truly colder and wetter up there. I was most impressed. The leaves came up very quickly, I had a fantastic amount of leaves, and not a single flower. A little later, once in Cambridge, I remember seeing a whole mass of them, so obviously someone was growing them and doing very well. So when I came down here, I brought the pots with the bulbs in and replanted them. Unfortunately, quite a few of the bulbs had rotted, but I was left with quite a few small ones, so I thought perhaps over the next couple of years I'll get plants. Well, I was truly surprised. This year I had a mass of leaves and a lot of new flowers. So I've left them in, I've allowed the leaves to die down over them to add a bit of a mulch, and I'm hoping that they'll come up again next year. They're fairly hardy, and certainly down in this area along the south coast they should be okay. Tigridia is another flower that you'll probably find, the tiger lily. You'll see it in shops at the moment. Extremely exotic looking. Three petals on the outside with 3 petals on the inside, and colours from yellow to purple with different colours of blotches. They are flowers probably only last one day, but you'll get a succession of flowers in the late summer. Again, plant them probably 4 inches deep, late April, well drained soil again, full sun, and you'll have a lot of plants by later in the season. These will be hardy, but again I would be careful and probably put a mulch of compost or some dried leaves over the top of them to get them through the winter. One of the flowers which you do get a good display with is canna. This is the canna or the Indian shot. You'll have seen them, 3-4 foot tall, green leaved or reddish brown leaves with large, I would say gladioli type flowers, probably 5 to 6 inches across. You can get through yellow all the way through to red. They like a rich soil. Plant them again in a pot in March and let them to start shooting, and then plant them out in May and June where you want them to be. I planted mine this year in a large pot, and they grew particularly well. The only drawback about growing in a pot, of course, is it's far easily frosted in the winter, and you either need to take them in, or as I do, dug them up. I put them in some pots with some shredded paper in the garage, and they will be shooting, and I'll be planting them out probably in the next few weeks. Again, on the green leaf ones you can get orchid, which is pink, and again, surprisingly, lucifer, which again is red. And of the sort of bronzy coloured leaves, dazzler is red, and verdi is a very attractive orange-yellow colour. I was so successful with the Acidenthera, the Abyssinian gladioli last year, that I thought this year I'd try and grow some spider lilies, Hymenocallis. These you probably will see in the shops at the moment. I bought a crop of bulbs last week. You arrive with a plant which looks like a spider, but white. And white's quite an unusual colour at that time of the year in autumn. Again, you'll get strap-like leaves and a plant head about 18 to 24 inches tall. The flowers, you probably get 6 flowers to the stem with 4 to 6 inches across. And these will start growing in August. These need to be planted a bit later, so plant them probably 5 inches deep in May. If you put them further down, there's less chance of getting frosted. Most people would in fact lift in the autumn, but I'm going to be a bit dangerous this year. I'm going to leave them in the ground and apply a good mulch. The only drawback perhaps at some parts of the country is that they really need a temperature of about above 13 degrees most of their growing season to ensure that they do flower, and they do like water. But, like all plants, I think it's worth a try this year. Now, one bulb I haven't yet tried, but perhaps in the future I will do, is Eucomis, or pineapple lily. You've probably seen it in the autumn, strap-like leaves at the bottom, with a tall 24 to 30 inch stem, with a plant that looks like, well, a pineapple at the top really, with leaves and flowers. The rosette of leaves at the base can be quite large, up to 30 inches across. It can be grown in a pot because they are less hardy, but I would plant them, if I had them, about 6 inches deep, well drained, full sun soil again, in August and they'll flower in August to October. This is one plant probably that you would dig up or lift in the autumn and then leave over winter in a dry garage. Again, it would like to be well watered, but should give you quite an unusual plant, and as an added bonus you get a fragrance. There's plenty of bulbs around at the moment, but these are the ones I feel that A, are fairly easy to grow, B, you can probably, apart from the Eucomis, leave in the ground all through the winter, and you'll be rewarded with some unusual colours in the autumn and some plants that may surprise some of your neighbours. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Doggy time now as we go over to Teresa and her sparring partner, Keith.
Right, with me now, I've got my old sparring partner, Teresa White. Teresa and I don't agree about dogs. She's wonderful with them and I hate them. But she's going to be telling us about training dogs. Good morning, Teresa.
Morning, Keith.
How are you?
Fine, not too bad.
Good. Right, you're going to be telling us about the training of dogs.
Well, yes, more to do. I get asked a lot, how long is it going to take? Well, you might as well say, how long is a piece of string? But what I will say to people is, you need to be getting a quality from the dog of 9 out of 10 times they do what you ask them to do. So we'll start with recall. Recall starts in the home. First of all, you have to charge whatever you're going to use as your recall. So it can be a little plastic container filled with biscuits, cat biscuits, or something a little bit noisy, kibble, something like that. Then you can use a squeaky toy if your dog's thing is a squeaky toy, but you don't let them have it. You would give them a treat when they arrived. And you start in the home, so say you're in the kitchen, dog's in the living room, sound asleep, so you shake the little plastic bottle, dog wonders what the noise is, comes running, and you can either put them in a sit or just leave them to stand as long as they're calm, and then you feed them a high quality treat which you've got ready on the side. So that would consist of either a tiny lump of cheese, hot dog, little piece of hot dog, the tinned ones that you can buy, cooked chicken, a cat biscuit because they're quite tasty, only mind the salt content, anything like that. Or if it's a squeaky toy, you give him a few seconds tuggy with the squeaky toy, and then give him a treat, put the squeaky toy where he can't reach it. That was his reward. If your dog is a dog that loves to be with you, you could probably get away with giving them a fuss and a cuddle and telling them how good they are. But there's a difference between working for £5 an hour and working for £15 an hour. Would you come just for a cuddle? Or would you come if you had a lovely piece of steak at the end of it or something like that? So we know what the answer is. So the higher quality of treats, the more likely they are to obey you and come back. And that's how you charge what you're going to use as the recall button, shall we say, the thing that's going to get them to hear and pay attention. Some people use a whistle. I would advise a proper dog whistle. There's 2 types. There's the very loud one, which I wear. I've got hanging around my neck at the moment. I won't blow it.
I'm ever so pleased.
And sometimes works on men as well, you can get them to come. Or you can use, there's a whistle you can buy and it adjusts at the bottom, and so if the tone isn't right for your dog, sometimes they won't obey it, so you can adjust it so that it's a tone that they instantly will recognise as being you. So, but you must charge them up at home. So you do the same thing, give the whistle a little peep peep, and then the dog comes over, sees what the new noise is, high quality treat, and then you send them on their way. That's all you have to do. But you have to repeat this. I suppose during a day, if you did 15 to 20 repetitions during a day for a week, then you might...
Is your dog thick?
No.
It takes that long?
No, it does take that long to get them into... Think how long it took you to do as you were told, when you got married. So it's probably still happening.
There used to be silent dog whistles. It
Yes,
took me
did.
ages to find out whether it was working or not.
They did, and I think they had to stop making them because of the humans. But yeah, that's how long it would take so that your dog would 9 out of 10 times come when he was called. And obviously don't set him up for failure. If he's out in the garden and he's looking to go to the toilet, don't blow the whistle or rattle the little plastic thing because he's busy.
That'd be wicked.
That's just not. You're setting them up to fail, and that's not right. Or if someone's just come in through the door and you've not done any training on door calmness, then don't expect the dog to come to you when he's in full flight saying hello to his mum or his dad. That's not going to happen. Or if they're in the middle of a game, 2 dogs together, don't set them up for failure. That's what a lot of people. Oh, he didn't come to me. No, what was he doing at the time? Oh, well, he was in the middle of a game with the kids. Well, he's not going to, because you haven't trained him for that. You're training him from when he's calm to come into you, and then you build up. People tend to rush training, and there's no quick fix. I'll get dogs 3 years old, 4 years old, 8 years old come to me and they say, well, I want to do some recall. Well, you've left it a bit late, but it's not impossible. You can teach an old dog new tricks. But also, don't expect to fix in 3, 5, 8 years, overnight in 2 seconds. It's not going to happen. I have not got a magic wand, but I can give you the tools that you can build up slowly. Do it when you're in the kitchen, do it when you're in the living room, do it when you're in the bathroom. Get the dog to come to you and know that there's something special at the end of it. And then you start reducing the treats a little bit so that it's more random. They don't know if they're going to get a treat or a fuss, because you might be out and you might not have a treat on you. So you need to program that into it. Then you take them out into the garden and you do this. Recall is a particularly long sort of set of sessions that you have to do with the dog to get it to be 100%. And you do it from the day you get the puppy. Don't leave it till they're a year old. Do it. A little puppy of 8 weeks will come to you when it's called. It will learn sit, down, stay. Just train it from the minute you get it.
And people tend not to do that.
Oh, they don't do that. No, they think it's a cute little puppy and it's too young. And
I can't remember. I had a couple of dogs in my life. One when I was very young, from about 5 years old. And I think we had him for about 13 years. And I had a rough collie myself when my kids were young. And he was fine, but he did as he was told from the word go.
But you probably...
So I expect dogs to know, listen, you're a dog, right? And this is what dogs do. Do as you're told.
Yeah, but you probably sort of unconsciously trained him as you were going along, because that's what you expected.
I probably had a bigger stick than the other bloke. That's right. I know how to press trees buttons.
But some people, if they expect, like bringing up children, you expect certain things from your children. I know I did, and I expect certain things from my dog. So basically, training goes on all the time, but subconsciously. You make a dog sit and wait for its food. You put it down. You teach it leave. But you're not teaching it as such, because you don't realise you're teaching it. But you are, and they're taking all that in, which leads to a better behaved dog when you go out. But it's these people that do absolutely nothing except play with the dog, or even worse, fuss it too much and dress it up and have it as a doll, which I've known many, many times. I mean, I had one dog come to me for rehoming, and it had more clothes than I did. It had 2 bags of clothes. I was absolutely shocked. And it came dressed in a tutu.
I've seen it. I've seen it before. People got bags, special bags that they put the dog in to carry it.
Yeah.
You take the dog for a walk.
That's not taking the dog for a walk. No.
No. But
that's a whole different program.
It's strokes for folks, and people are entitled to do it, I guess, if that's how they feel. The only good thing about that, of course, is they do think they're doing it for the best for the dogs, for the best of the dog, and
well, I just
so they're not likely to. It may not be for the dog's well-being, but
they're doing it for themselves. They're not doing it for the dog. These designer dogs that I have in handbags are for them. It's not about the dog.
Yeah. It's another piece of jewellery.
It is. It's another accessory.
Well, thanks for telling us about the training.
Okay.
Teresa, and I'm sure we're going to be speaking to you in the not too distant future, because I shall miss our little sparring sessions otherwise. And we'll see you again soon.
Okay.
Wonderful, thank you. So, time for nourishment now. So, what's on the recipe today, Keith?
Hi, and welcome once again to the kitchen, or maybe we should even call it the galley, seeing that we're in a nautical area, and most of these dishes actually could be concocted in a very small kitchen or galley. The first one today is for a very well-known soup, and it's minestrone, and this will serve 4 people, and this is what we need. 2 tablespoonfuls of olive oil, 2 garlic cloves chopped, 2 red onions chopped, 75 grams of Parma ham sliced, 1 red pepper deseeded and chopped, 1 orange pepper deseeded and chopped, 400 grams of canned chopped tomatoes, 1 litre of vegetable stock, 1 celery stick trimmed and sliced, 400 grams of canned borlotti beans, 100 grams of green leafy cabbage shredded, 75 grams of frozen peas defrosted, I like that, 75 grams of frozen peas defrosted. Well, if they're defrosted, they're not frozen peas. Anyway, 1 tablespoonful of chopped fresh parsley, 75 grams of dried vermicelli, some salt and pepper, some freshly grated parmesan to garnish, and fresh crusty bread to serve. And this is what we do. Heat the oil in a large saucepan, add the garlic, onions and parma ham and cook over a medium heat, stirring for about 3 minutes until it's slightly softened. Add the red and orange peppers and the tomatoes and cook for a further 2 minutes and stirring it all the while you're doing it. Stir in the stock, then add the celery. Drain and add the borlotti beans along with the cabbage, peas and parsley. Season to taste with salt and pepper. Bring to the boil, then lower the heat and simmer for 30 minutes. Add the vermicelli to the pan. Cook for a further 10 to 12 minutes or according to the instructions on the packet. Remove from the heat and ladle into serving bowls. Then garnish with freshly grated parmesan and serve with some fresh crusty bread. How tasty is that? And our second dish for today, Mexican chicken, chili and potato pot. Something a bit spicy. And this is what we need, and this will serve 4 people. And we want 2 tablespoonfuls of vegetable oil, 450 grams of boneless, skinless chicken breasts cut into cubes, 1 onion finely chopped, 1 green pepper de-seeded and finely chopped, 1 potato diced, 1 sweet potato diced, 2 garlic cloves very finely chopped, 1 to 2 fresh green chilies de-seeded and finely chopped, 200 grams of canned chopped tomatoes, half a teaspoonful of dried oregano, half a teaspoonful of salt, 4 teaspoonsful of pepper, 4 tablespoonsful of chopped fresh coriander, and 450 ml of chicken stock. And this is what we do. Heat the oil in a large heavy base saucepan over a medium-high heat and cook the chicken until it's lightly browned. Now reduce the heat to a medium, add the onion, green pepper, potato and sweet potato and cover and cook for 5 minutes, stirring occasionally until the vegetables begin to soften. Add the garlic and chilies and cook for 1 minute. Stir in the tomatoes, oregano, salt, pepper and half the coriander and cook for a further minute. Pour in the stock, bring to the boil, then cover and simmer over a low to medium heat for 15 to 20 minutes or until the chicken is cooked through and the vegetables are nice and tender. Sprinkle with the remaining coriander just before serving. That's a nice tasty dish. Mexican chicken, chili and potato pot. And that's it for this week. See you again soon.
Well done, Keith. Now it's your time for a bit more work as we have another Kevin quiz.
Right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may be listening. This is Kevin the Quiz with this week's Connections quiz. 5 general knowledge questions. What is the connection? And this one is a very local connection, so it's one for people who live in Selsey. Question number 1. Who wrote the books about the Wizard of Oz? Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. Who wrote the books? Question number 2. Which family did Paddington Bear live with when he came from Peru? Question number 3, British history. Who led the mutiny on the Bounty against Captain Bligh? Question number 4, football question. Where did Bournemouth AFC play their home games? What's the name of the stadium? And question number 5, bit of soap opera. What part did Gillian Tailforth play in EastEnders? What was her character name? So there's your 5 questions. What connects all the answers, and it's a local connection. Good luck.
Thank you, Kevin. And now our final piece from Alison.
Time now to have a look at the weather and the tide tables for Selsey and the Manhood Peninsula. On Wednesday the 15th, we can expect a high of 11 degrees Celsius or 52 degrees Fahrenheit with light cloud cover and a 6 mile an hour west-northwesterly wind. Slightly lower temperatures on Thursday the 16th, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 10 degrees Celsius, but again light cloud cover, 13 mile an hour wind, south-southwesterly. That temperature will hold for Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So good weather temperatures there. Again, light cloud cover. On Friday we can expect a wind speed of 18 miles an hour, which will be westerly. Saturday the 18th, wind speed down to 13 miles an hour, east-northeasterly. So I think that will probably feel a little bit colder in fact. Sunday the 19th, 52 degrees Fahrenheit, 11 Celsius. 13-mile-an-hour wind again, but this time a west-northwesterly, so I think that should feel slightly warmer. Finishing on Monday the 20th with a high again of 52 degrees Fahrenheit or 11 degrees Celsius, 15-mile-an-hour wind, west-southwesterly. So not too much to say about the weather for the coming week. Let's have a look now at the tide tables. On Wednesday the 15th, we'll be having a high tide at 1:05 and a low tide at 10:07. As usual, of course, that will change throughout the week, finishing on Tuesday the 21st with a low at 22:11 and a high at 7:30. So I hope those times suit you for walking, and I'll speak to you again next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks, Alison, and that's me done for another week, so it just remains for me to thank all our contributors, including Local Life magazine, our sound editor John Mullett, our presenters Alison, David, Kevin and Keith, not forgetting, of course, our producer John Fletcher. So it's goodbye from me, Tony Weiner. Until next time, bye.